Alright guys, so I figured it was about time to go ahead and do a like a video of me doing some work in the shop here. Can I flip this around and it work? Nope, that took a picture. Okay, so this is the shop. Really it's just a room in my house, and this is where all the magic happens, and the new. Oh yeah, I like it. Anyway, so I'm gonna be doing a couple of my minimalist wallets, and actually, let me see. Good place to hold you. They look like this. All right. Now this is my logo here, and just because it's mine, I made it the big one. I'm going to make one. It's going to have some like a card holder on the back here. It's going to be a little bit different, but you can see here, holds some money, holds a couple of cards here, about 4. All right, and some dollarinos. So pretty cool little deal. I'm going to be making 3 of these today, and I thought you guys would like to come along for the ride. So stay tuned. I'm going to get set up, and we're going to do a little bit of dyeing, and then we'll go through the process with you. All right, cool deal. All right, so enough of that front-facing camera business. First off, we're going to need 3 of the old deals here. I'm going to need my patterns in here. I'm going to need some leather. This is about a 3 to 4 ounce leather here. Now, definitely a word on the leather. Buying it online is cool and you get some good prices, but sometimes there's a lot of throwaway, and I don't know if you can see this here. There's going to be there's a pretty good amount of throwaway that I'm going to have to do on this piece here, but there are a couple of good spots that I'm going to be looking at here, and should have enough for all 3 and more. But yeah, definitely a word if you are just getting into leather work. Go into a place like Tandy, or if you're close to like a Weaver leather craft or a tannery of any kind, definitely go there. You may pay a little bit more, but you can get a piece that you're a little bit happier with. Going online and not being able to see the piece, you're going to be left with just a whole lot, potentially, of waste that you're going to have to trim off and not really going to be able to use, except for maybe if you make maybe knife sheaths or something, you can use pieces of this in between to build that up. Now I've got some other pieces here that are really great. I've got these from Weaver Leathercraft and Springfield Leather Company. Those usually do me pretty good. But anyway, back to this at hand here. I'm going to go ahead and bring the template out, cut the pieces off, and then I'll be back with you to do a little bit of some hand dyeing here. All right. All right. So before I cut this, I just wanted to show everyone here, with the 3 wallets there, just how much that actually takes up on a piece of leather here. So, cool news is, these are mostly square cuts, and so there's not a lot of waste happening, only where the inner pockets happen here. So the rest of it's just a bunch of square cuts here. I'm able to use all of it, and then this part's going to be hidden, so I was able to use some of this with whatever this marring here. Now, I mean, another word about the leather is all leather's different, because this was off of a living creature. So this marring may be where the cow got up against a fence or something like that, some scrapes or cuts that you might see with that. Basically, really just makes this thing unique. It makes it yours. because no one else is going to have something exactly like it. But yeah, I get to cut this piece off. Most of this over here is trash anyway, so I was able to use it all the way up into the bad part there. So pretty cool. All right, so I've got it all cut out. You can see here I've got the three wallet deals here. And I'm going to go ahead and dye all these here, but I'm going to wait to dye these three because I'm going to do some wet molding with these because it's the card holders, so we want them to take a specific shape so that the cards will slip in and be pretty cool on that. This is the waste from cutting out all this leather here. And so what you'll see is if you position the pieces in a certain way, especially like I said, these are pretty much all just square cuts. You can just bump them up against each other. You won't have hardly any waste, whereas if you separated them all out, you'd just waste half a hide getting, you know, 4 or 5 of these wallets out. Put them down into the dredge. Get them nice and covered. Don't leave them in too long. All right. Just long enough there. You see how long that I left it in there for, and it was pretty soaked. All right. Going to start out by saying this. Get yourself some thicker gloves if you can, or, you know, conversely or alternatively, just, you know, cut your fingernails off, because if you've got fingernails, then there's a slight chance that, you know, you might poke through said gloves while you're trying to do things, and then they almost negate their own purpose. So anyway, so I've got the 3 little deals here that are going to be the card holders. I've got them wet, and basically all I'm using here is just a little sponge. And this, not gonna lie, is a ramekin for a molten lava cake that you get from HEB. Dual purpose. All right. So anyway, those are wet, fairly good. Now what I'm doing is I just everyone seems to want to give me, you know, these Visa cards. This is kind of cool, a little plastic, but everyone wants to give me these Visa cards, and I don't need cards, so I just keep them. Keep a whole stack of them in here. That way I can use them to mold things, and I don't actually mess up, say, cards or anything like that. This is a stack of 10 cards, and I wanted to get roughly that amount into these here for the customer, so I just stacked up enough to where it was just a little over that 10 card mark there, so you should be able to squeeze you know, 9 or 10 cards in there. But what I'm going to do is just set this down here and get it just about to the edge, and then you just start molding around it here. Try to get it about even, and yeah. All right. So these are mostly dry now. You can see that they've definitely lightened up a pretty good bit. Now, there are a couple more stages that I'm going to have to go through first, but what I normally like to do after they've dried, because they had water on them, and then the dye, they kind of dry out and harden up. I mean, I don't know if you can see that there, but the first thing that I like to do, see that's real hard, is I'll just take them basically and just just kind of roll them a little bit, kind of on themselves. Like, you know, if whenever you were in school you took a piece of paper and just kept rolling it back and forth like this, and then soon it like softened up. Same basic principle. What we're doing is we're just the fibers have kind of hardened up a little bit inside the leather, and so we're just kind of stretching them out and just, for lack of a better word, just breaking them down just a little bit. Not enough to have any kind of integrity issues, but enough to just really loosen that up. See how that's now nice and pliable. You can do anything you want to that, whereas this one here is pretty stout, pretty stiff. So I'm going to do that to everything here. Just a quick little roll, excuse me, there to kind of loosen those fibers up a little bit and make the leather a little bit more supple. Now I'm also on these pieces here, I'm going to take this bottom little bit and I'm just going to skive that down. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my skiving tool and just take some of this skin off. Take some of the leather off there to where it basically just tapers, down into nothing there. Leather balm. This is going to bring out all those colors. It's gonna as you put it on, it's gonna kind of neutralize everything. Gonna kind of wash over, because there are some inconsistencies that just naturally happen just because of the leather and whatnot. Whenever you take the leather balm and you put it on, let it soak in, not only does it bring in some of those the nutrients and everything, I guess, that the leather needs to just make it even more supple, but after it dries, you can take and polish it, and it creates a nice shine. And like I said, as you polish, as you're working that in, you will take some of that, some of the dye, and it will kind of spread over the whole piece here. So I'm going to do that to every one of the pieces here. And what I like to do is just take a like a washcloth, like an old one or something that you don't really use anymore, maybe out of your guest bathroom or something. Just take this, something that's easy to throw away. You could just pick up some more of these at, you know, I don't know, Walmart or something. Get you a pretty good bit on there. And basically all you do is you just take the piece of leather here and you just start going over it. Now, do you see there? It's already getting in there. Like I said, it's going to bring out those rich colors from that dye, especially if you use the Pro dye, that oil dye. It's going to kind of get in there and bring all the features out there. And in the beginning here, you really just don't have to, just kind of go after it. And be kind of liberal with it here. I mean, as long as you put it into that rag there, you're not gonna really get too much. Now, what they say too is, after you've done this process and after you've shined everything up, you've waxed on and then waxed off, like Mr. Miyagi says, and you don't really like the tone, you want to go deeper, well, you can add another coat. And they say it's supposed to make it even more richer, or you know, bring out the depth, I guess, of the color. I've really never had to do that, because I feel like after we're done, it's probably going to be enough. If not, I may go over one or two of the pieces, depending upon how they look after it's done. Like I say, I kind of have my particulars. I know what I want it to look like, and if it doesn't look like that, then I'm not happy. If I'm not happy, I know that the customer will likely not be happy. I mean, even sometimes they are, but if I'm not happy, that's that's all that matters. Skiving it down there. And basically what I'm just doing is I'm just kind of evening it out a little bit there. And then I'll take up here at the line and I'll just kind of even that out there until we've got fairly even little playing field here. And let's see, I'm going to take this edge down a little bit more. Take this one down. Just really make sure that we've got a good little area. And you can see, let's see here. I don't know if that's focused up. But it basically, you've got thick, and then it tapers down to nothing there. I don't know if you can see that there. Tapers down to nothing. And that'll help, like I said, whenever you stitch right here across, it kind of will not hinder. And of course, you can also take and run a line across here for that stitch to sit down in as well. So just taking, you run a straight line there, stitch will sit down in it. Then you won't have any problems whenever the card goes in and out of it catching on that stitch. But I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of these up, doing this skive, and then I will get back with you guys. Alright, so it's a new day, a new dollar. What I'm doing today, just to make sure I've got everything ready, I've beveled all the edges here and burnished them so they're nice and smooth and slick there. That's gonna make for just a little bit of a better look on the finished product there. What I'm also doing is I'm taking these top sleeves here and I'm gluing them to the wallet piece here. That way it makes it it's going to make it easier to sew. I've also marked lines. I don't know if you can see that. Marked lines there to know where to stitch. And I believe that all of these, yeah, they look good. I was worried that that one of them might interfere with the words there, but we all good in the hood. I don't know if I should have said that or not. Anyway, maybe I'll edit that out. Maybe I won't. We'll see. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get these nice and tacked down here. And then what I'm probably also going to do is I'm just going to go ahead. I've got a little deal here. It's going to make a little line right in here, loopity doop doop, and that's going to allow me to kind of push those stitches down into there even more, so there's not going to be any issue with that card coming in and out. Well, let me finish this up here, and I think that we're ready to do some sewing here in just a hot second. All right, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't sew up this back part here. And I'm going to go backwards. Let's see. go ahead and turn this around. Turn it around. Yeah. I should probably stop singing stuff like that. That's crazy stuff. All right, so here's what we know. Okay, here are the facts. It is never advisable to do any kind of work while you are sleep deprived. And if circumstances have caused you to, say, not go to sleep and then have to wake up and do things, well, without having gone to bed first, things happen. So first wallet was going well. It's going fairly well. Started on this end here. We were going, and then something happened around here I'm not sure of, and later on down the road we just decided to maybe fall asleep and completely miss. Then later on, we just decided to just stitch back and forth just a couple of times here. Second wallet. Actually was looking fairly decent. Had some decent lines here. Looking pretty good, and he even looks fairly good on the back here. But then if you look right down here, boom! Apparently the leather on the outside here came unglued, and I just kept following the line there, apparently, and just stitched off the side. So two wallets are now completely unusable. I've got lay third wallet here, lay third, Tre Walletto. I don't know, that's not correct at all. Glued it all down, and looking pretty good on the glue. Decided I am going to look into a couple things here. If I want to continue machine sewing these, I am going to go ahead and try out. I'm using 277 thread, but I'm going to try and go down a size to some 207. See if that looks a little bit better on some practice pieces. If it does not, rather than just going off into the wild blue and making a, triple, just going to go ahead and maybe hand sew it. So, but I'll tell you what though, this one here is going to look real good. Going to make sure of that. And then the other two will follow. But again, word of advice, just go to sleep. When it gets late, go to bed. Hey, it's 10 o'clock. Maybe just go to sleep. Don't stay up and try to do things. Become delirious. And decide that it would be good just to, you know, stay up longer and then have to do things the next morning and then decide I'm already up anyway. Why not go ahead and try to finish this thing? Not a good idea. Sleep is necessary, kiddos. Sleep is necessary. Otherwise, you do stupid crap like this and you waste dollars. That's all there is to it. All right, well, I'm going to get reset here and see where we go from here. All right. Either way, this video it's definitely going to be educational. All right, so I did a little change over here, and looks pretty good. I do say so here. And then inside, it's a little money clip there. When you don't have any money in it, it kind of hides away in there. So turned out all right. And this is with the 207 thread here. I'd already done this with a 277 thread, so unfortunately that stayed. But the 207 thread, especially with these wallets here, definitely better. Definitely looks a lot better. And I think the card holder on the back was pretty cool, and you're able to use this here to get a nice little bite to take the cards out there. And then once the cards are getting a little bit low, you can hold about 10. I think there's 9 in here. You can hold about 10 cards. Once they get a little bit low, the little money clip itself kind of creates a little bit of a barrier to keep them from just, you know, sliding out if they're in your pocket there. So kind of cool little deal. And this was the first time that I did the card holder on the back, the business card holder. I think I may offer it as an option moving forward. But yeah, I've got my edges are nice and burnished. Everything kind of turned out all right after the initial issues. So yep, I'm gonna make those other 2 back up again, and everything will be good. No one will be it would be none the wiser, really, I guess, because unless they watch the video, they'll just have 3 nice looking wallets that they think I did once. Well, I guess this concludes the tutorial. I think I'm going to dub it the experience. The experience of making my minimalist wallet here. Really, I guess with this added business card holder on the back, makes it kind of less minimalistic, because there's a little bit more involved than just normally, because it's normally just the 4 card slots and then the money holder, so it sits fairly flat here. I mean, right now I've got the money out, but I mean, it usually sits fairly flat. Anyway, minimalist wallet. The experience of making 2 while sleep deprived and 1 after having a good night's rest. See you next time, guys and gals.